name is Joann Self. I'm 27 years old. I grew up in Memphis. I left to go to school. I went out to Berkeley, California, and I finished up school in '99 and returned home. I did the Vista thing and worked for Hands on Memphis for about 8 or 9 months, and then I worked for the Music Commission for about a year. Post Music Commission, what I decided to do was leave and start my own independent consulting company, nonprofit management consulting, grant writing, program development, some strategic planning here and there. I just recently finished a documentary called The WLOK Story. Art Gilliam, who is my executive producer, approached me and said he wanted to do some sort of a history preservation type of a project about WLOK Radio, which is the first African-American owned radio station in Memphis. I had no idea the extent of the history of this particular station. I knew it was the first African-American owned radio station in Tennessee. I knew that it had been a fairly progressive soul station back in the 60s and 70s, but I had no idea the connections to the history of Memphis. I knew about the civil rights movement, but I never knew what happened in the decade that I was born. I mean, here I am, born in 1976, growing up in Memphis. You go to the Civil Rights Museum. At the time, it only went through 1968, and I'm going, great, what happened after Martin Luther King died? The WLOK story talked about things that people who grew up in the black community in Memphis just knew. They knew a lot of the elements of the story, and even people who are of my generation, who are younger, who had parents and grandparents, mothers and grandmothers in particular, that listened to gospel music and that listened to WLOK, they knew what WLOK meant to the black community. And what the documentary did for me was gave me the opportunity to talk to people like Billy Cowles, Benjamin Hooks, Joni W. Golden. You know, all of these people have been living through this whole history, and they're still living now. And to me, doing the WLOK story was an opportunity to capture what happened in the 70s and help move us forward. I was amazed at the number of people, not only in my generation, but also in a half generation, a generation older than me, that just didn't know about what was going on with Operation Push in the 1970s in Memphis. If you've grown up and you've lived in Memphis, you think this is the way it always was if you're younger. But if you're a little bit older, you can understand the change and the significance of political empowerment. It was such an amazing learning experience just for me. I grew so much and through discovering so much about my city and about my heritage. I mean, this is my culture, and they're real, true expressions of what Memphis means to me and what Memphis means to them. Well, you know, everybody tells me I need to have a 5-year plan, but I'm not really into the 5-year plan thing right now. I want to do things that come up that provide opportunities for me to be creative, that also provide resources for me to make a living. My goal and my objective, my personal philosophy, is to do what I enjoy doing, and the money will come. Being a consultant gives me the freedom to do whatever I want to do. And occasionally these things will drop in your lap, like the WLOK story, or like being the interim director of the Music Commission, where you can actually create change. There are so few people out there that are really proud of where they're from and that can really connect and relate to their roots and feel like they have something to give back. And you can get paid to do what you enjoy doing and at the same time have a positive impact on the community.